Welcome to the Soul Tide podcast. I'm Brecken.
And I'm Brittany. This is your space where we keep it raw, real, and 100% authentic.
Let's get Soul Tide, sis.
Oh my gosh. First guest. Welcome back to Soul Tide.
Welcome back, guys.
It's an exciting day
It
because we have Katie here with us.
This has been a long time coming.
Oh my gosh.
And we had to kind of twist her arm, finger, toes to get her to come.
A little.
But she really loves us.
Yeah.
That's why she's here.
We're thankful.
You guys used that against me.
We sure did. We're even going to try to get her to do
We're like, so.
We're even going to try to get her to do a TikTok at the end, so stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned for that.
I love you enough for anything, so I'm up for
Even a TikTok dance.
I love it. But the reason why we're having Katie on is because she is like the woman behind the business, her Vital AZ business. You have really like built this from the ground up. And I mean, your husband could not have done it without you.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would agree. And so would he.
Yeah, I'm sure.
He's so good about that.
We just want to know, I guess, who is Katie?
Yes.
Yeah.
Outside of Vital, introduce yourself a little bit. And your background, whatever, you know?
I'm Katie. I have 3 kids. I'm a mom outside of Vital. And then I'm a wife. I've been married for 13 years to Riley. And I do also have like an extensive healthcare background. I don't provide healthcare services for our business, but it has been very helpful just to have that like mindset of healthcare. I did ultrasound before I did Vital. I did that for 10 years. And just that knowledge, it actually has been very helpful.
Yeah, love that.
That's amazing. I feel like it is great that you have that medical background because like it's a different language.
It is.
It really
Exactly.
is.
Yeah.
And just the fact that you speak the language and can kind of like converse with, I mean, you're the boss, converse with all the doctors and
Yes, like I think that's what's been so nice is also just working in that. I came from like a hospital background, which is very like hierarchical, and that can be a pro or a con, but it has actually really helped me learn those different types of hierarchies. And so I've become really comfortable with talking to no matter who it is, from a medical assistant to a doctor to none of that really intimidates me anymore because I've been around it for so long.
And probably so intense in like the background.
And like when I first started at the hospital, I was just so intimidated by that like totem pole.
Yeah.
Like I'm down, it felt like I'm down here,
Right.
they're up here. And I feel like you get enough experience under your belt to where you're just finally comfortable with everybody. You know?
Yeah,
That's
oh, yeah.
really helpful as like a leader.
yeah, that's an amazing skill to have.
I also feel like for peace of mind for us moms, and not even moms, dads, whoever is a part of what you guys offer, to know that like you have the medical background is also nice.
Yeah. Like it just builds a little more trust.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
We want to know a little bit about like how the business started.
Okay. So honestly, I would say that Vital was born as a result of COVID. So Riley and I were both working like corporate healthcare. I was working at a hospital, a big name hospital. He was working at a big primary care office, and COVID happened. And when COVID was like fresh, it was very much of a like, we're all just going to band together and get through this. We have limited resources, but it's okay because we're just going to like, it was very like, rally the troops. But then after a while, we all started feeling like, okay, but nothing's going back to normal. We still don't have the resources to do our job. You're expecting us to do more with less. And the burnout just started happening where you're like, okay, at first it was like team. And then we just got to a point where we were like, do you think we can do this for 30 more years? Because that's like when we retire. And we both were like, no, like a resounding no. We couldn't see it. We were just so burnt out. We had no flexibility with our schedules. I was working 12, 13, 14 hours, taking call. Like it was just our whole lives revolved around like our work. And we kind of just felt like other people were telling us how to live our lives. And then obviously certain mandates were happening and like everything was just, we felt out of control. Like we were no longer in control of our life. And so Riley at the time was doing house calls for his PCP office that he was working for. They offered like a little bit of that. So he had dabbled in that and really liked it. He just loved that for some reason, which is, it takes a special person. I have worked in like mobile x-ray for a hot minute and it's not my cup of tea. So it's interesting to me that he loves it so much. So that's where he kind of got the house call version of it. And then it was his idea to do the, like the membership model, get rid of insurance. We both have hated dealing with insurance. We feel like it's a game of just like how to get something covered instead of how to treat the patient in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of how it was born. It was born out of being sick of working at corporate healthcare chains during COVID, being sick of insurance, and being just Riley, especially feeling like he couldn't provide good care. Like his hands were tied. He wasn't in control. So that's how it was born.
It's wild.
That's amazing though.
Yeah.
You saw a blank space and you're like, we're doing this.
Yeah. And we just saw such a need for people who needed good health care. Like it's so sad what it's become. It's really become this game. It's become a game of insurance. It's become a game of politics. It's become just so much more than just like the actual patient in front of you. And it's just such a disservice to the patient. And we were just like, how do we go back to the basics, like old school
Quality,
high quality healthcare that's just dumbed down, not dumbed down, but you know what I mean? Like getting rid of all of that noise and just treating the patient in front of you.
Well, it's simplified.
Yeah.
just
And we
simple.
love simple.
Yes, it's very simplified.
Yeah.
And like price transparency, I feel like healthcare is the only industry where the consumer has no idea what anything's going to cost.
That's true.
And you just go into it thinking and hoping that this is not going to bankrupt you.
For real though.
Literally hoping that, and then you get the bill and you're like, oh gosh, like I didn't know that that's what it was going to cost. And so, yeah, we just wanted to get rid of all that. Everything you hate about medicine, we were like, let's get rid of all that. And then everything you love, which was very little.
Let's try to pull that
was
out.
that low.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Like the bar was low, you know? Yeah.
But I think you guys, I mean, you're the poster child now for home health in the Valley. I 100% believe that. And something I love about Vital is at a lot of like pediatric offices or even like primary care, you go and you're like pushed with certain things.
Yes.
And like whether it be vaccinations or like certain things your child needs, like absolutely needs, but not really, like it's just being pushed on you. I feel like Vital does such a great job of like parent advocate, like you're advocates for the parents, like you listen every experience I've had with Vital and you don't push anything and you're open. Like it's like whatever works for your family, that's what we're here to do. We're here to serve you.
And it's really sad to me that that is like so rare, slightly controversial even, that we just went into it thinking like, not even shared decision making. We are not the parents. We are not here to make decisions. We are here to give you information so that you can make decisions. And then we don't care what it is. We will help you with that decision. But I think that medicine and healthcare has become so much of like, some people try to use the word shared decision making, but even that to me is like not always the best. You're not that kid's parent. And you don't necessarily know the nuances of this child to be making decisions in a shared way. You know, it should be up to the parents.
It was so refreshing for me. Like, obviously, you guys were my friends outside of Vital. And when you had told me that you guys were thinking of doing this, I'm like, yes, sign me up immediately. Was I pregnant with Hudson? No, because it was I don't know. I just know that when I was pregnant with Hudson, I knew it was always going to be Vital because of that, exactly what you said, where it was I get to make decisions and I get to be supported, or I get to be given information to allow me to maybe make a different decision if I want to.
Definitely.
I've never felt judged. I've never felt like I haven't been heard. And I've never felt like I was a product in an assembly line like you do at so many doctors' offices. I mean, I don't ever even go anywhere else.
Yeah, me either.
Like you guys are just our doctor for everything.
Well, and I love that because at first, so much of my job was explaining to people what we were. They just didn't get it. And I think it's just because it was such a foreign concept. Like so many people were like, well, like, what would I use you for? And I'm like, what wouldn't you use us for? Like, unless you need your appendix removed, like something extreme.
Sure.
You can use us. And I think it was a lot of educating on our part of like just trying to, people don't trust healthcare. So when they hear something that sounds too good to be true, they're like, where's
like,
yeah,
waiting for the other
so
shoe
I
to
felt
drop.
like in the very beginning, so much of my job was like, I guess you could call it marketing, but it was so much of like just explaining how easy it is to use us, explaining how you will not get a bill when you use us. Like people just were like, what?
It is
Like,
astounding though.
they did not understand. So that was so much at the beginning. And then it was so nice once we had enough patients to have like the word of mouth on our side. Because in the beginning, people were just like, that sounds awesome, but like, no.
What's the catch?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Well, and I think you guys being consistently consistent has allowed people to see like, oh, they're, for real. They mean what they say. We talked kind of about how the business started, right? Tell us a little bit about what your role looked like in the beginning versus what it is now.
So in the beginning, I laughed because it just felt chaotic because when you go to like any business and you walk in and you have like a very seemingly normal experience that seems like nobody really had to work for that, what none of us realize is like somebody had to work really hard to create a system and a process to make it that way. And so in the beginning for me, it was very like, okay, so if somebody literally calls and they want to be seen, like, what do I do? Like,
But really,
how do I like do that? And so just putting systems and processes in place that sound, like I said, it sounds so dumb, but like having a process and then also being able to train people in that process. So it was a lot of that. It was a lot of creating processes and systems. It was a lot of trying to find software to help us with like, you know, scheduling, our charting system, our billing system. And that's all kind of a shot in the dark because nowadays it's like you can buy like a 7-day trial of this stuff, but like you're kind of just picking something and hoping that you don't hate it. And so all of that from there, it was just everything. You know, obviously I don't practice medicine, but you know, the billing, the explaining our practice to everybody, the scheduling, the sending of patient history forms, the creating of patient history forms. I would have to, I mean, thank goodness for ChatGPT. I would be like, well, how do I make a form for this or whatever?
Oh,
So
yeah.
just a lot of that. And again, thankfully I have worked at so many different urgent cares, hospitals, doctors' offices that I kind of knew like, wait, we need a form for that. Also having that mindset of like, I hate to be like this, but healthcare is a litigious industry. You don't want to get sued.
for sure.
We have to have certain things in place so you don't get sued. Just so many little things.
Yeah.
Things.
So yeah, it was chaotic at first. It was not smooth at first, but that was how it started. And then I feel like my role very much evolved into billing. Like we very quickly realized that handing that over entirely to someone else is risky. And we did that and we lost money that way.
Yeah.
So it evolved into billing.
Yeah.
But at first it started with just me allowing Riley to go see the patient. Everything else outside of that I was doing.
Exactly what Riley said when, by the way, her husband suggested this topic for us, not knowing that I would request to have his wife on, but it worked out. But it is behind the scenes, supporting the dream, the silent partner.
Yeah.
You have been the silent partner since day one.
Yeah.
I remember being at dinner one night and you're like, okay, I got to go make sure I take inventory of what we need and what I need to order. And it's just like the things that you don't think about.
Like finding a supplier, ordering supplies, like just there's so many little things. And you know, you don't realize that when you go to the doctor and they have Band-Aids stocked, that sounds so simple, but it's like somebody has a supplier and somebody has a job to order that and somebody has a job to inventory that. Like there's just so many little things that are going on behind the scenes that make it so that the doctors are just kind of making it look like you're just there to be seen.
It's a well-oiled machine. Yeah.
That's a million tabs open in your brain at all times, on top of motherhood and being a mother. How do you feel like you've navigated giving enough time to your kids and also showing up how you need to in the business?
I mean, thankful for childcare. I had childcare available but you know, my youngest is 2.5 and we've had Vital for like 4.5 years. So I had her I had her with me for a lot of this. As far as just navigating motherhood, I would say family has been a big help. Like we have family that helps out a lot. Like Riley's dad literally drives for him a lot so that he can like be on his phone for patients.
Oh, that's amazing.
My mother-in-law watches my kids a lot. So as far as like trying to balance motherhood with that, I think family has been like really helpful for that. And then also just having the mentality of like, bring the kids are here. Figure out a way to do this and parent. I feel like the kids very much saw me working and parenting, and there were a lot of times that I was kind of drowning on both ends and I wasn't able to give my full attention to motherhood and I wasn't able to give my full attention to Vital, but that's just real life. You guys know that.
Oh, it's just trial and error
It's
sometimes.
just, like, sometimes you're giving 50%, sometimes you're giving 10% to 10 different things.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it was.
Yeah.
But
You survive, still we rise.
Yeah. And really there's no balance. Like you have to, some days I'm sure you gave way more to your kids and some days you gave way more to the business or your husband.
I started following some business accounts on Instagram that were just inspiring to me, and just a lot of, I respond well to like the tough love mentality of like, you're not going to have balance. You're building a business. Like if you want to build a successful business, get rid of the mentality that you're going to have balance in your life.
Sure.
Like, it is going to be a grind and you are going to be slaving for a long time.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. Like either you want it or you don't. And so we both just kind of had that mentality of like, this will pay off one day. And like, it is hard right now, but like, just keep your head down and do the work. Like, no one's going to do it for you. No one's coming.
No one's coming.
No
I was
one's
literally
coming.
going to say, no one's coming. That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
No, but it's
I love
true.
that.
It's true. You just got to get it done.
Let's talk about a little bit like marriage and partnership. So how do you and Riley separate business from pleasure? How do you separate
Literally
the two?
and.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yes. Well, to be perfectly honest, I feel like we don't.
Yeah.
But in a good way. Like, I am very blessed. Like, Riley is an amazing partner for me. And so I feel like we had a very strong foundation of marriage to begin with before Vital. And that has been paramount. Like, I kind of can't imagine if that was not on track 100% before starting this. So we had a good foundation of like just marriage before starting this. And I would say in the beginning where we struggled is we did not have boundaries around our availability to our patients. And so and that was our fault. Like, you learn how to educate your patients, clients, whatever it is, on like how to use your services in a way that doesn't burn you to the ground. And we didn't do that. We were very like yes people at first.
It was Monday through Sunday.
It was Monday through Sunday ER style. Like,
I mean, I was at your house on a Sunday. I remember.
yes. And
I was one of those.
we just
You're like, sorry.
that like we have to set boundaries of like availability. We need to have more traditional availability as far as like 9 to 5. And then, so we set boundaries around that. But I would say our marriage and Vital is very intertwined. We're constantly brainstorming together, sharing our highs, sharing our lows, sharing what works, sharing what doesn't. So I don't think we separate it, but I think we've created better boundaries to protect our marriage from like the availability. Yes.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But no, we can't separate it. It's
Sure.
No.
Yeah.
Did you get pushback from people when you had to establish those boundaries, or were people pretty understanding?
People in the beginning.
Sure.
So like, that's where we learned that lesson of like educating your patients.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like half the time they don't even know they're being educated. It's just that you're teaching them how to use your service.
For sure.
And if you don't do that, they don't know how to use your service.
Of course.
And so, in the beginning, those patients, it's not their fault. They thought they were under the impression that our availability is all the time.
Yeah.
And so, that I wouldn't say there was pushback. There was just a lack of awareness, I think, from those patients. And then as we've evolved and hired more people, we've talked about how like you have to talk about your availability when you're available versus when you're not, so that you're setting the correct expectations from your patient for your patient. So not pushback, just
Love that.
Yeah.
How do you and Riley handle disagreements when it comes to the business?
So we early on decided that like ultimately you have to have one person that has the final say. You cannot have two people that have final say, because then you get roadblocked and you can't move past it when you don't agree. So we both agreed wholeheartedly that like he has final say. I mean, he's the one at the end of the day that's literally rendering these services to people. He has a completely different lens than I do as far as like being in front of a patient. Like, I don't perform patient care.
Yeah.
He always hears me out, and he always so many times uses my feedback to change his decision. So I never feel unheard. But there are times that he's like, no,
I've got
this is what it is. And half the time it's because he's way more risk tolerant than I am. And it's a good balance, but like I am risk averse. I would never have the courage to do what he does. And I've realized that, and he has proven to me so many times, like to where I can trust him to make decisions. He's not rogue. He has better risk tolerance than I do. He will make decisions that are riskier than I will.
Yeah.
But I default to him. So it makes it so that if we have disagreements, at the end of the day, I'm like,
It's your choice.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, he sees the patients. I mean, that's something we kind of talked about earlier, but I feel like with starting Vital and then even where he is now, like what I know about Riley and what I love about Riley and why I advocate for your company is Riley believes so deeply in what he does. I have had a slew of issues with my 2-year-old. This we know, and I've never had a provider so invested and care so much about not only me, but my children and just everybody, whether he's seeing us or not. I mean, I will get texts 2 weeks later, hey, I thought about this, let's try this. And so it goes hand in hand with like being a little bit more risky in doing this business, but knowing he's doing it because he wholeheartedly believes in what he does.
Yeah.
And it shows.
And I feel like that too. Like Riley is such a good human
So good.
that like his decisions are, I'm just never worried about his decisions coming from a bad place or his decisions coming from anywhere but like the best of intentions. So yeah, I think he's just like established enough trust with me to be like, yeah, like I'm not always gonna agree, but I totally trust your decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that.
And you do want a provider that is not going to take reckless risk, but it's going to take an educated risk for your family and for breaking the system what the medical system has been in the past. Because I mean, you guys are kind of taking a risk even doing a home health business because that is not the norm. We're going to talk about wearing all the hats. So like you've done everything from HR to billing to, you were saying, like putting systems in place. Which hat do you think has been the hardest to wear?
I think for me, the hardest hat to wear was boss, managing employees. It just is uncomfortable to me. I don't know why. I think there's a lot of like semi-unhealed people pleasing in me.
Yeah.
That it's hard for me to have some of those harder conversations with employees. And I have like very much tried to just give that back to Riley. I feel like he's just better at that than me. So I think just it's been such a learning curve of like, okay, I'm not very good at that and you're really good at that.
Yeah.
So he has taken the reins on like the employee management side for the most part. And billing just came very naturally to me. I think just because I'm very type A OCD and like at the end of the day, it's weird. It's not about money in terms of profits. It's money in terms of like, we got to make sure our employees are paid. We got to make sure everything is good, you know?
Sure.
Yeah.
And so I'm just so type A about that I took over that.
Yeah, it makes
and
sense.
Riley just doesn't do any of that. So, the hardest hat for me was like employee management. It just doesn't come natural to me.
Makes sense.
Right.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure with anyone, it's like such a, not a like superior role or anything like that, but it
I
feels.
always felt like I just never wanted to have that discrepancy of like, I'm up here and you're down here.
Sure.
I think that some people have that natural ability to lead without doing that. And I just never had that like natural confidence that I was doing.
Yeah,
So
that
I
makes
was like,
sense.
I don't know. It didn't come naturally.
For sure. That makes sense.
Yeah, I was laughing. Brecken and I were laughing the other day because I was telling her, I'm like, oh, I have a bill I need to pay at Vital. Katie texted me, and we were laughing because you always say like, I'm getting both toes out. I'm not gonna be one foot in.
I know,
one
we're
foot
like,
out.
oh man.
We're like, she's still in it.
And I laughed because I'm like, oh, I've gotten that 3 times because Josh's damn credit cards. I was like, oh, sorry, Katie, new card.
Yeah.
It's funny because I have told our front desk girl, Sheila, who I love, she does
Yeah.
an amazing job, but I have told her, I'm like, the system that we use and you can like filter like past due.
Yeah.
And I always tell Sheila, I'm like, when that is more than 1 page long, like my blood pressure goes up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure.
You don't want me like in your hair, just try to make that short. So if I log in and that thing's like 5 pages long, I'm starting to be like, hello.
Your cheeks are clenching.
And so I'll start texting. But no, Sheila does a great job with that. And I just, literally last week, I was like, if you just want me to leave you alone, just keep to 1 page or less.
Yeah.
Then I'll leave you
She's like,
alone.
okay, done.
Yeah,
Check.
yeah.
Do you feel like you'll ever be
Yeah.
like, this business runs by itself? I am not completely removing myself, but you know.
I mean, I think in my head, that's like the goal, the
Sure.
dream, but like realistically, I'd say no, just because we've already been burned doing that. Like when Riley and I first started, we have no background with business and accounting, 0. Like we're healthcare workers, you know? And so we handed that over to an accounting firm. We hired an accounting firm, and especially tax compliance, whole different world.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
I'm sure.
And so, yeah, we just handed that over and we were like kosher, like ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
Everything seems fine until everything wasn't fine. And we started realizing there was some major negligence
Yeah.
on that.
Oh no.
And so I just quickly learned like, it's just not smart to hand everything over and trust that it's getting done. Like nobody cares about your business as much as you do.
Sure.
Nobody cares about your money as much as you do. Nobody cares about your tax compliance or the IRS, as much as you do.
Yeah.
So I think that's just human nature that you kind of have to look out for yourself. It's coming.
No one is coming.
Again, no one is coming.
This is a theme. The
That
theme
is the
of
theme.
life.
I think I'm always going to just be kind of hovering a little bit.
Sure.
Just to say,
But hopefully a little more.
Yes.
A little more on the
Yes.
outside.
A little like on a beach somewhere.
Steps back, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to tie this one in together. What has been the biggest mental shift you've had to make as your business grew? And also, was there ever a moment that you thought, I can't do this? And how did you guys kind of move through that? So multi-layered, but.
I would say like the biggest mental shift for me has been like the scarcity mindset of like growing a business when you're like self-funding the business. Like it's scary. Like, you know, you just look at the salary of one person and like that's coming out of your pocket, you know?
Yep.
And so just that scarcity mindset, I always just kind of had the mindset of like, we can't do that. We cannot afford that. But then at the same time, you know that you have to grow to like keep going. And again, thank God for Riley, because there were just times that like the math is not mathing, like the funds are not there. But for us, I would say too, like something that's just been so good for us is like, we truly feel like this is like a calling from God. Like people need this type of care.
Yeah.
And like, as long as we stay true to that, like God has provided the path for us, truly. Like there have been times, you guys, where we get to the end of the month and I'm like, how are we here? Like,
Wow.
how did, like, we're just certain, even like a tax refund will come out of nowhere. And we're like, oh, we really needed that this month. Like it just kind of, you know, little things like that. So the scarcity mindset and just shifting into like, there will be a path, like a path will be paved. We will be provided for. We're fine. Like we will be, our needs will be met. You know, I think the mom in me is always like, I want stability for my kids, stability for my family. And Riley is way more, he wants to risk it all to like build this business.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's just been shifting, I'd say, away from like that scarcity mindset.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a
it'll
good
be
one.
okay. We'll find a way. We've always found a way. And like, we're still here 4 years later.
I know.
So
Yeah.
you just
And
have to,
bigger than ever.
Yeah.
So just that shift of like,
Sure.
instead of constantly being like, no, there's not enough. No, we can't do that. You know?
Yeah, I get that.
And then I don't feel like there was ever a moment that I was like, we can't do this.
Yeah.
If anything, it's always been like, this is exactly what we're supposed to do and we have to find a way to do it. Because it truly feels bigger than us. Like just hearing the experiences of patients who have just been through the ringer of like the traditional healthcare system and then them giving us testimonials of like they have faith in healthcare again.
Yeah.
And like just, I've never felt like we can't do this. If anything, I've always felt like, gosh, we have to find a way. Like
Yeah.
we have to find a way to expand and we have to find a way to like offer these services to more people. But I mean, there's still uncertainty. There's still been
course.
like, you know, debilitating anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say we've ever been like, no, we can't do this.
That's amazing. It's amazing too that you're following that intuitive ping to bring this to life.
Yeah.
And I remember when Vital had like 2,000 followers. Now you guys are at like 18K or something like that. And
It's wild.
just growing so much.
It's amazing.
Obviously, this episode is for all the women and partners supporting their spouse or partner in a really big way, like you are. What advice would you give to another wife or partner who's about to step into something similar?
I think like you really just have to my biggest advice would be honest with yourself if you think you can do this without resentment. Because if you cannot, which is okay, like you cannot be resentful of this role. It will not work.
Yeah.
You have to be all in supporting your spouse. You have to be all in kind of in a thankless role. You have to be all in, because I just feel like, you know, I think a while ago in the episode we talked about like partnership and marriage. I think luckily like we kind of had that in a really good place to do this. And that's kind of what I meant. Like I was fine with like fully supporting him because I like really believe in him. And I think if you're not there yet as a couple, like that's okay, but you need to work through that before you dive into this, because it will rock your world. And if you're resentful and you're feeling like, gosh, like I shouldn't have done this, or like I had to give up this to do this, I just think that it's going to be a lot harder to propel your business, like meet the goals of your business that you
Right.
It's hard enough as it is.
Right. You have to be good behind the scenes,
You have to be
solid.
behind the scenes.
And you have to keep it together for, I mean, you've got Riley spearheading it with all the patients, but I think what people don't realize and what people don't see, aside from all the hats you were wearing in Vital, like you also have to keep a safe home for him to come home to, where especially in the beginning, and I feel like I can speak on this obviously with my husband and his company, is some days they get their teeth kicked in all day. You have to let them come home and leave that at the door. And that's not always easy.
Yeah, and you can't come home and be mad
Yeah.
that you're doing that. You know what I mean? Because like, yeah, there are days that he comes home and I'm like, okay, I cannot contribute to his anxiety right now. Like he needs the strength of a partner right now. And like, you know, we ebb and flow with that. Sometimes I'm the just mess. But yeah, I think that you have to be all in supporting your spouse, and if you're not, you have to be honest with yourself that like you're just not quite there yet.
I love that.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Okay, I like this one. Looking back, what are you most proud of? And what do you hope your kids learn from watching you guys build this? Because you said, I mean, they've watched it.
They've had a front row seat. I think I'm most proud of like what we talked about. We have always felt like this is a calling bigger than us. And we have always told ourselves this whole experience has like really strengthened just like our testimony for us personally. Like as long as we stay true to that and we don't chase the things that you shouldn't chase, you should not be chasing profit. You should not be chasing money. Instead you should have the mindset of like, the money will come if we just stay true to like, for us, you know, in our case, it's like, these people need these services.
Yeah.
And there are so many people that need this type of care. And if we just stay true to that, like just that simple mission of that, everything else will fall in place. For me, I'm just the most proud of us staying true to that. I can like truly say that's all we've done is like, if we just do that, everything else will find a way. Like a path somewhere. And there has every time where we did not see a way forward, or where there was a roadblock, it's like there was a path created. And I truly believe it's because we stayed true to the calling. That's what I want to teach my kids. I want to teach my kids that your God or your higher power is going to put passions in your heart that are different than other people. Like you're going to be passionate about something that someone else might not be, but that's not an accident. Like lean into that. And like, you don't necessarily need to find a way to like monetize that, but like, I think it's there for a reason. And like lean into that calling, lean into that passion. And I think that you'll have a much more rich, fulfilling life if you lean into that and like listen to those little whispers that are telling you to do certain things. That's what I hope we learn from this. Like, that's what we've done.
I mean, you're leading by example.
Yeah, you are. And what in our last episode we talked about how our kids learn more by what we do than what we say, and that's incredible that you're spearheading that.
I think since we've both been on both sides of like traditional clock in, clock out employee versus entrepreneurs, I think there's pros and cons to both. Like sometimes I do miss the mentality of like, this place could burn down.
Right.
It's not my problem.
Totally.
Whereas like now everything's your problem. However, like the flexibility we've gained is just like, that is what I think the kids will notice is like, we've had flexibility. And I think that's where we're the most rich right now. Like the flexibility for our family is just priceless. And we had none of that before. Like we were always working. Dad was always gone. Dad was gone before they woke up and dad was gone when they went to bed. And I think, and I hope that they also just learned like flexibility is important. Whatever you decide to do, try to have something flexible for your family.
And I love too that they've been able to witness firsthand what it means to like work hard, put your head down, work hard, and you can really do whatever you set your mind to. But they like you have literally set that in play for them to witness. And it's setting them up for success as they're adults. And also I think to your point, it's just allowed you guys to have such a more passion-filled, fulfilled life. And they feel that.
And like I think too, teaching your kids that like it's not always sexy to put your head down and work.
Oh, yeah.
It's true.
Like there's nobody rooting for you until they see the result at the end. And then it's sexy and it looks good. But like the process leading up to that, it's not fun.
It's messy.
It's messy. It's monotonous. It feels like you're not moving the needle. And like, but if you just like consistent habits, like compound into like big things. And I want to teach my kids that like hard work does not feel sexy or look sexy at the moment. But if you stay the path, the results will be sexy.
Not
necessarily sexy, but you know what I mean?
No, I love that.
I feel like we live in a world where everything is just like curated and pretty and you see these like results. And it's like the path to those results is not pretty. It's just not.
I mean, we said that in one of our episodes, like my favorite quote, Brene Brown, but she says the middle is messy, but that's where the magic
Yes,
happens.
it
And
is.
that's really, truly
And usually
how it's
you're kind
been.
of doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quiet and like, you're staying up late to do it. There's nobody like, good job.
Yeah.
Like you just have to put your head down and work.
Well, kudos to you guys. I mean, it's been
amazing.
It's been fun to witness on the other end of it.
Yeah, totally.
I just feel so honored. Like when I have friends that are patients, I love it, you guys. I feel like healthcare is an intimate thing. Like handing your healthcare over it's like a big responsibility. And so when I see like friends and family love our services, I'm just like elated. I love it.
Yeah.
It's like really fulfilling to me.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Our last question is, how do you feel like this journey has changed you?
I think this journey has changed me. I used to need a lot more validation. You're doing good, like almost like credit. I wanted the credit.
Yeah.
I was in it for the credit.
Yeah.
I was motivated by that. And I have had to just let that go. Like I have to be just cheering for myself.
Yeah.
Because it is a thankless role. Like doing all these things behind the scenes, half the time people don't know you're doing them. Half the time people don't know unless it doesn't happen and they're yelling at you that it wasn't done.
Sure.
Same with being a mom. Like it's similar to motherhood where like you can't be in it for the glory.
No.
You're gonna be extremely disappointed.
You will.
And to be honest, like my natural personality, especially just having less life experience, less mature, I was in it for the glory. I wanted the credit. I wanted people to tell me that I was doing a good job. And I had to let that go. Like I have had to just be okay knowing that like I know what I need to do and I just need to do it. And there's not going to be everyone like celebrating that, especially when Riley is celebrated.
Sure.
Like, but at the same time, it's funny because I am very uncomfortable with that now. It's weird. I like completely shifted. I used to kind of want the spotlight. I used to be like that and I have just flopped. I don't know why, but now I kind of just like to be in the background. I don't really like to be in the spotlight. And Riley is just more of that. He's better at that.
Yeah.
He's a natural at that, which is funny because I wouldn't have said that about him when he was younger either. I feel like he just kind of
like,
so I'm okay with that, and I haven't always been okay with that, but I think it fits my current personality traits the best.
Yeah, I love that.
Well, you're doing a good job.
Thank you.
We'll clap for you.
Thank you.
No, but really,
no, it's hard, and it's like. It is interesting because no one does see it, but then the people that do see you and get it, you're like, you're my people because you know what it takes.
I know, just the fact that you guys are having an episode about this, like, I think one thing that we all have to remember is like, if you're a person who's utilizing any business and it's extremely successful, there is someone at home holding it down for them to do that. Like, you can't go build your business unless someone is running your household, taking care of the kids, and doing all of that stuff in the background so that the person who's kind of front and center is be able to be front and center.
Sure.
So yeah, I've become more aware of that when the other day, I met like this couple and they have a very big, successful like plumbing company.
Yeah.
And he's the plumber, he's the guy, he's who everybody knows. It's similar to Riley.
Sure.
And in my head, we started swapping stories of like, how was it for you when you first started? Oh yeah, I was scheduling this and doing that. And like, I'm like, I know what it's like. I know what you've done to support him. So yeah, just like that awareness is nice sometimes.
I feel like it helps you find your community too, because you talking about this will speak to so many people who have felt alone. I mean, there's been many times I think we can both empathize with that, where obviously we haven't been as invested in our husband's business, but holding the home front down and
like you're
feeling like it's nice to speak to people who's like, oh, okay, you get it too. We're not alone. And
I have so many friends that their husbands are in healthcare or they have to leave for a certain amount of time and they're home alone. And it really does take a special kind of woman, a special kind of person to stay steady for not for them, but for your house, for your kids, for everyone involved.
Yes. Like I think that it's, we're always going to have that like kind of ingrained in us of like when women go to work, everyone is like, well, who's watching the kids and who's taking care of the house and who's making dinner and who's making, and like, I think people forget that and it's not necessarily men versus women.
No.
When anybody goes to work and they're giving all they have to work, someone else is carrying the weight. Like
Right.
somebody else, and sometimes it's a dad that's staying home with the kids. But I think a lot of times it's women. Like women are just in the background, making sure that everyone's okay and making sure that everyone's needs are met. And I think people forget that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's been so fun to have you.
I know.
Thanks for
Thank
being
you
our
for coming
first
on.
guest.
Thanks are so sweet.
It's an honor, really.
It really
I love
is.
your guys' podcast. Truly, you guys crack me up.
Thank you.
Your guys' chemistry is truly like, I love your guys.
It's a trauma bond.
Yeah, we've gone through the same stuff. Yeah.
So funny.
Trauma makes people funny.
It does.
It's like
honestly.
dark humor.
Yeah.
I mean, growing up, I had that all the time. And I'm like,
Yeah.
ooh.
Like, have you seen those memes that are like, I'm really funny, and then it says like some horrible thing that happened to me?
Yeah, it's like, thanks, my dad left me when I was 3.
Yeah,
Literally.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, the daddy jokes. I did them all
Yep,
the time
same.
growing up. And people would just be like,
They're like, oh.
too soon? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Did that even come?
Oh.
It is funny. We laugh about our own trauma, but it like makes other people uncomfortable, which is normal.
Well, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Definitely.
But
It's kind of like the mentality of like, you can talk bad about your own sister, but if someone else does it,
That
like you
is
can make
true.
jokes about
Oh, yeah.
trauma, but
Yeah.
if someone else starts
You're
it, you're like, wait a second.
yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
we
man.
so appreciate you.
Yeah,
and
we
it's
just love
been
you.
so fun to chat.
Yes.
And if you're
Yeah.
local, check them out.
Yeah, check out Violet. Do you want to do a little plug for the business?
So we serve the East Valley, Southeast Valley membership model. It's kind of like having a gym membership, and open enrollment. We are taking patients right now. So if you would like a Vital membership and have house calls, we can come to your house. We do have a clinic if you want to come to our clinic, and you can text your provider. I would say that's what sets us the most
Game
apart.
changer.
It's a game changer.
Yeah, you will have text access to your provider. You can text them any question that you have that comes up, and at least me as a mom, you guys as a mom, that is like
Peace
game
of
changer.
peace of mind.
Life-changing.
It's the best.
Yep.
It is.
Okay, well,
Awesome.
thanks for watching,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks for watching, and we'll see you
See you next time.
week. Not next week.
Next week.
time.
Bye.
And that's a wrap on today's episode. We hope that you felt seen, heard, and maybe even a little empowered. If you loved today's combo, don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your girls.
Let's keep this Soul Tide community growing. Until next time, stay true, stay bold, and most importantly,
Stay you. Love you, mean it. Bye.